Well, welcome everybody joining. So nice to see everyone for our town hall. See a lot of familiar faces and some new to me faces, so welcome all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nathan Mauck. I'm a senior student at Lama Surya's, and I'll be holding space for the group here today. And before we jump in, just a reminder, we do this every week, same place, same time. So this link at this time, we're here. We have kind of a rotating cast of folks who lead, and had Kelly kicked us off last week with a great session to start off the new year, and continuing on for the rest of the year. So excited to continue down this town hall tradition that we got going during the pandemic and have kept going. It's kind of nice to have this virtual option for group practice. I was reflecting on my own background and path here, and for years I kind of went the lone wolf style, so I was just kind of reading and doing things on my own. And I remember that I was going to be going to a Lama event, and there was a Q&A, and one of my questions was going to be, do you have any advice on how to build out a practice? Because I was kind of ready to build one out, and then the meantime, I checked out on the Dzogchen Foundation website, and there are actually like he had like the 6 things to do for a practice. And I looked, I'm like, well, I've done 1.5 of them. So maybe before I ask, I could try some of these others. And one was group practice, of finding a group, finding community. And that's been such a incredible and rewarding thing for me. And this group is so incredible. And so glad everyone's here, and welcome. Also have been obviously a lot going on in the world this week, really thinking about what's going on in LA with the wildfires, and so many, we have a lot of course, LA folks in our Sangha, and thinking about family and friends and just all beings in LA impacted by what's going on. And it's kind of hard not to look at the news and just see a lot of chaos in general. We've got conflicts in various parts of the world, and it kind of takes me back to what started me down this path, and probably, I guess, for many of us, if not most of us, at some point there's kind of a recognition that there's a lot of chaos in life, and the reality of being a human is that we're faced with a lot of challenges and unwanted circumstances, suffering, and so at some point we maybe give up a little bit on the idea that these things are ever going to just go away for good, right? Maybe for a time we think, hey, if we just get through this next thing, then everything will be good, right? I've just got this one thing, and once that passes, then I'm in the clear. And then eventually we pick up on the pattern that that's probably not going to happen. So then it's like, all right, well, how do we find a path to kind of handle whatever emerges? And that's certainly what sent me down this path. And, luckily I discovered, Lama Surya's best-selling book years and years ago, and connected with him, and have learned so much from his teachings and many other teachers and various books. But really, there's a limit to kind of the reading and learning side. It's really a practical solution that I was seeking, and probably many of you are, of especially during times where things are difficult and challenging. Tends to be a motivating time to really seek out a way to navigate our lives skillfully and to manage what arises. And so today we're going to do a natural meditation here in a bit, but I would just say one of the things I love about the natural meditation is it is a meditation, but it's guidance that really applies to meditation and non-meditation. And so there are many things I find that are helpful to, relax and de-stress. One of my favorites is my wife and I got into float therapy. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to do this, but you go into this dark chamber and float. It's a very relaxing, peaceful experience. I love it, still love doing it. But then when you kind of come out, and then the kids come home from school, and you've got chaos, it's like you can't just float with in the darkness, right? So I can't just kind of go to my happy place. So you need something that's sort of a dynamic, accessible, practical way to really navigate whatever arises, and good and bad. And I also think about mantras that I found to be into those sayings and slogans I found to be really helpful. Things like "This too shall pass," right? To be really helpful. But as I reflect on my own experience with that, I noticed it's very easy to believe and trust in that and take comfort in that when things aren't going well or the way you want them to go, right? Like, this will pass. But when everything is going well, it's not really something you remind yourself of like, hey, this also will pass, and eventually things are going to be going not so well. And so as we're starting off today here, we'll start off with a prayer here in a minute, which is kind of a wish for all beings to find happiness. As we reflect on the different things going on in the world and in our own lives, so many folks facing health struggles, having loved ones with health struggles, concerns about what's going on in the world at large, seeing the suffering of others, and sometimes feeling maybe a helplessness or feeling compelled to help and not really knowing how. Our pets, a wide circle of those that we wish well for. So kind of that intent of how can we help ourselves, how can we help others, start off with a prayer, get into this natural meditation, and just kind of keeping in mind that it is very much meditation instruction, but instruction that one of the things I've found useful about it is it really applies after we leave here, and I don't have to lock myself in the float chamber to access it, right? So there's a lot of benefit to that. So with that, maybe start off with the 4 aspirations. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, and strangers. So with that, you can find a comfortable seat, settle in, arrive. The basic instructions of natural meditation are just sitting, just breathing, and just being, which the easy part is it's just what it sounds like, just natural, no special way to sit, no special way to breathe, no special way to be. Eyes open, eyes closed. You can move around as needed, grab drinks, take breaks. Break this into miniature practices, so a lot of short duration, quick type of practices. You can always restart, you can always refresh. You don't have to wait for me to redo that. But on the one hand, the instructions are incredibly simple, just to be natural and at ease. But it sort of implies that maybe that's not our usual mode, right? That we need to stop doing some stuff or take a break from other things. So taking the opportunity to undo the habit of overdoing, to unwind, to relax, to settle, to just allow things to be exactly as they are, taking some time to arrive. So on the one hand, there's some instruction on things we don't have to do. We don't have to figure anything out. There's nothing to achieve or learn or understand. We're just being, just natural and free and at ease. But on the other hand, at least I'm tempted to say, then what do we do exactly? If we're not doing anything else. And the fine print is aware, right? Awake, present, really present to what's going on right now, really tuned in. Not sleepwalking, not on autopilot, not avoiding, not holding on, just really present, awake, attentive. Just taking some time to really dial in. Natural body, so just natural physically, but bringing attention maybe to the body is a way to tune in a bit. A body scan, checking out what's going on in your body right now. What are you experiencing? What sensations? We don't need to change or transform anything, just bringing awareness to it. There's no wrong way to do this. So there's no type of feeling you should have or shouldn't have in the body, just whatever is there. Natural breath. So again, no need to breathe any special way. We don't need to alter our breath in any way. Just bring attention to it, really noticing the breath as it comes in, noticing the breath as it leaves, being aware of the process of breathing, the naturalness of breathing. We don't have to do anything, it just automatically happens. And then just being, natural heart and mind. So we don't need to think of anything, and we don't need to block out any thoughts, right? We're not trying to thought stop. But we also don't need to hold on to whatever thoughts pop up. Just bringing awareness. Whatever feelings we have, whatever emotions we might be experiencing, bringing awareness to those. We don't need to create any particular feeling or emotion. We don't need to try to transform anything that's going on. Just bringing awareness to what's there. Dynamic presence, not getting stuck or fixated on whatever arises, but also not trying to restrict whatever arises, just letting things come, letting things go. Allowing things to be just as they are right now. Allowing ourselves to be just how we are right now. And let go of trying to prop up this story of ourselves, of who we are and who we're not. And let go of any effort to control or manipulate our experience in any way. So as mentioned before we started, one thing I like about natural meditation I found very helpful is there's really no part of these instructions that applies only to a period of meditation or this hour that we're going to spend together. Whatever arises, bring your attention to that, bring awareness to that, noticing what's going on, returning to that over and over again. After meditation, we may well decide to react, but bringing attention to what's going on, what's there, really tuning in can sometimes give us the space to react a little more skillfully. Give us a chance to process what's going on. instead of just rushing forward with our usual habits and patterns. Yeah, not any different during this hour. Whatever arises, we don't need to react, we can just observe. And we might notice that what we're experiencing arises on its own and it resolves on its own. If we leave it as it is, different experiences will come up. We'll transition to something else. Maybe sometimes quickly, you might be getting a flood of thoughts. I tend to always get unhelpful quotes from movies popping up in my mind, even when I'm leading one of these, thinking of these different things. Whatever it is, just bringing awareness to that. Again, we don't need to try to stop the thinking. And we might recognize even the capacity to be aware, right? This awareness that we are experiencing, this attentiveness, that quality. Directly experiencing it's breath after breath, moment after moment, staying present to what's there, free and at ease, relaxed. Lama Roger Walsh sometimes leads these town halls, and I heard this from him first years ago, and I'd love to steal it from him, but he said, relaxation is not something you do, it's something you allow, which was very helpful to me. Sort of like the relax, like straining to relax turns out maybe not the most helpful. So just allowing ourselves to just be, to stop stirring and shaking, stop analyzing, releasing, just recognizing whatever arises and then just rest in that recognition. And if you'd like, you can join me in a restart, refresh, move around, stretch, grab a drink, take a break from taking a break. When you're ready, start fresh. Tuning into what's going on right now, not getting stuck, whatever we've been experiencing, whether it's wanted or unwanted. Just checking in to see what's there now. As we settle in and tune in again, keeping a fresh view of things. We might notice different aspects of what we're experiencing. We might notice a stillness, spaciousness, calm. We don't need to create that experience, but we might be aware of that. We might recognize that. Just experience that directly. Openness. Might also recognize some movement, some activity, some thoughts, some feelings, even in the physical realm. Even if we're sitting still, we might notice a pulse, our breath coming and going, movement in the external environment, changes in our internal state into thoughts and feelings, sensations, movement and activity. You don't need to create any of that. Just recognizing, directly experiencing. You might recognize that awareness can take in both the stillness and the movement at the same time, the spaciousness and the activity. Be aware of both aspects of what we experience. They're not separate. You might also bring awareness to awareness itself, a capacity to recognize the different aspects of movement and stillness, activity and spaciousness, that which recognizes those qualities, those experiences. Nothing to create, just simply to recognize. And then once we recognize, just rest in that recognition. And if you ever find yourself getting distracted, it's enough to just start fresh. Bring your attention back to what you're doing. Come back to the present moment. Restart. If we get distracted frequently, also no problem. Just returning as many times as we need, starting over, seeing what's right here in this moment, just taking things one moment at a time. In general, if anything arises that we feel like is disrupting our meditation, disrupting our practice, we might have questions about how to move forward. Certainly, if you have any questions throughout our time today, pop them in the chat. We'll leave time for Q&A at the end. But also, whatever arises, just bring awareness to that. We think there's some hindrance, some roadblock, some distraction. Just bringing awareness, not trying to transform or change or figure it out. Just notice, giving it space, letting it come, letting it go. Just allowing things to be exactly the way they are. Allowing ourselves to be in whatever state we find ourselves. Sometimes what's going on in our experience can be unwanted, unwelcome. One of the many things I love about natural meditation is a real focus on reality, the things just as they are. So not a denial. If something has us uncomfortable or find an experience to be unwanted, we don't need to deny that or a positive spin on it. But we also don't have to attach to it or try to hold on to it. I view the instructions very much as an invitation to honor reality, to honor what's really going on, what's really present. Maybe somewhat, at least to me, paradoxically, things do transform in their own way, in their own time, but that's not something we need to cause. We don't need to control or manipulate. Different experiences will arise on their own, they'll resolve on their own. We just let them be, let them settle. And we don't have to just take that at face value. We can really check it out and see if it's not the case. As we look into our experience, our constantly changing dynamic experience, not some permanent or static state. Fairly simple instructions, just sitting, just breathing, just being. The catch, if you will, the fine print is vividly present, awake, aware, attentive, present. And restarting as many times as we need. It's actually helpful to break our practice up into little chunks as many times as we want. Having a stretch, a drink, restart, new view, like we're beginning from scratch, letting go of whatever has been going on in our experience, allowing things to come and go. As we're coming up, relatively speaking, near the end of our hour here together. If you have any questions, comments, etc., pop them into the chat. We'll leave some time, but in the meantime, I want to invite you to try a Q&A related practice with me that I've been tinkering with and finding some use in. So pass it along in case that you find it useful as well. Similar in spirit to something Kelly led us in last week. But if it goes horribly, blame me and not Kelly. So if it ends up not working for you. But you might, if you want to, join me in bringing to mind some question you have, or maybe not even some question, but maybe something you would want support with. some area of your experience, your practice, your life that could use some attention. Maybe take just a moment to be present with how that feels, what that experience is like. And then thinking about what it is you need, what answer, what type of question you have or support you're seeking. Bring someone to mind, a person, an archetype, a deity, whatever works for you. Bring to mind some being, some entity that could be a provider of an answer, support, help, have the wisdom, the skill. Visualize whoever it is you want to bring to mind. Take some time to really tune into that presence. And then when you're ready, pop that question to whoever it is that you've brought to mind, or ask for that support. Just see what comes up. You can kind of retune in and re-ask and ask different things if you want. To the extent that maybe you find something there, that you find the support and maybe an answer, maybe some encouragement. You're taking just a moment to recognize it seems as if maybe you've called on this from without, but very much available within. Tapping into a wisdom that's always available to you, a support, encouragement. It's available at any time. Maybe to end things a bit where I began them. A lot of things going on in the world, thinking about these wildfires, conflicts, all sorts of personal issues that folks have, struggles. Sort of naturally motivating to look for ways to better handle whatever life throws at us. And this natural meditation, this just allowing things to be, being present, giving things space, I found to be pretty helpful in navigating what arises. Taking that time to really be present and settle usually helps in however I react or choosing not to react. And then also sometimes it helps to call in, as if from outside, as if from afar, support and help from these sources, people, deities, whatever works for us, archetypes, calling these things to mind. Sometimes it helps to just sort of surrender ask for help, take a break from trying to figure everything out, have all the answers. So hopefully some of this is helpful, resonates, translates. We'll close with a prayer dedicating any good merit we may have created here today, thinking about all beings everywhere. To Lama Surya Das's New Millennium Prayer. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected, and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. May we better prepare ourselves for the natural calamities that beset us all. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. Thank you all so much for being here. Check the chat. I saw someone had asked who's in this photo, me in the background, but it's a photo of, I'll see if I can get in there, Lama Surya Das and I from, I don't know, probably 12 or 13 years ago at this point. I'm never sure about sharing Lama stories, but I will share from this. This was the first time I had met Lama. He came to Kansas City for an event, and after the retreat, he hung around and we had the chance to chat. And he asked me what I did, and I said, "Well, I'm a finance professor." And he's like, "Finance professors can't get enlightened." So, which if you're not as familiar with Lama Surya, is very par for the course for his kind of teasing teasing kind of response. So that was actually right before that photo was taken. So we're both kind of having a good laugh at that comment in that particular photo. So yeah, some wishes, thinking of folks in California.
You have a question here, Nathan.
Okay.
And the question is, what is the best way for me to focus my attention towards my son in his marriage?
Family things can certainly be one of those areas that produce a desire for a practice to help us navigate things, right? And sometimes things can maybe not go the way we want them to go. Not to on the one hand, just to kind of repeat, whatever your reaction is, whatever you're feeling about it, just giving that space, bringing attention to that. I would say maybe as opposed to rushing into what do I need to do about it, right? Or what do I need to fix? Or what do I need to change? But just really taking some time to give ourselves the space to experience whatever reaction we're having, whatever might be going on in that, whatever might be going on in that experience. And then also, I never quite remember this prayer, but it's something to the effect of, may I control the things I can't, accept the things I can't, and the wisdom and know the difference, the serenity prayers. I'm sure many of you could actually, I don't know if Mel's on. Mel always gives me this one when he's around. I never quite remember exactly, but reflecting on that aspect of things, right? So recognizing maybe what you do have control over and what you don't have control over. It can be very hard to accept that other people are going to make their own decisions, even if we find those decisions to be unhelpful. Um, we can support people, right? We can cheer them on. We can be a resource. We can offer guidance, especially if asked, right? If our guidance is sought, or if we think folks are open to that. Um, so just some thoughts there, to give it space for the reaction, and how you're feeling about it. Um, and then as you kind of reflect on the situation, just tuning into maybe those things that you can do, like you can manage your own reaction, and your own boundaries and your own approach, and then working to accept those things that we can't control, which turns out to be what other people decide to do. All right, as we're winding down here, might just remind everyone again that we are here every week, same place, same time. So this channel's the place to be. Uh, Certainly excited to see everybody here today. Wishing everybody well. Thank you for your time and for being here. Hope to see you in future Sundays. So check us out again next week and all Sundays. So have a great Sunday, everyone. Take care.